welcome to Sports Factor on JEGIQ TV today. And I'm your host, Obiajo Akachukwu, and we'll be talking everything concerning sports today. We'll be talking about football, the just concluded international break, and there's also NBA action for us to talk about. And let's not forget tennis as well, and lots of big stories today in the world of football. And don't forget the Ballon D'or nominees were out this week. With a lot of people talking about who's going to win the Ballon D'or. Chelsea fans said Jorginho, he's had a phenomenal season. And then the Messi fans and the Barcelona fans on the other way are saying Messi has to win the Ballon D'or because he had a phenomenal Copa America. We'll be discussing this and many more on the show when we come back on this short break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back from our short break, and without wasting much of your time, we'll be going straight into the action. And let's start with the Super Eagles Nigerian national team, Ghernot Rohr. They had a mixed international break, if I'm going to put it that way, because then Nigeria played against the Central African Republic, called the White Beasts, in Teslim Balogun Stadium. And when you look at the quality of the Nigerian football team, and you look at the manager which we have in Ghernot Rohr, because then I'm a Nigerian and I'm going to be very, very objective with Ghernot Rohr as a manager, which would be in our discussion today. Is Ghernot Rohr the right man for Nigeria? Because he's what? He's 5 years in the job, and if you ask every Nigerian fan, what is our style of play under Ghernot Rohr? Most of them cannot tell you if we're an attacking side or we're a defensive unit. It's always between we tried, we didn't try. And you have to look at it this way and ask yourself, Nigeria losing to a team far below the FIFA rankings. Far below the FIFA rankings. Down, I mean, they're ranked like 100 or so. And in our home stadium, Teslim Balogun Stadium in Lagos, Nigeria lost. But all thanks to Victor Osimhen and Leon Balogun, who did the honors for Ghernot Rohr in the return fixture in Central African Republic. Nigeria sit top of Group C with 9 points after 4 games. With 2 more games to go, which they'll be facing Liberia and also Cape Verde in the next international break to qualify for the World Cup. And then when we look at Ghernot Rohr's career so far as the Nigerian boss, the Nigerian gaffer, we look at the fact that he signed a 3-year contract in 2016. And in as much as most Nigerian fans will say he's not the right guy, his bosses. Actually, Amaju Pinnick, the NFL's president, is a big admirer of Ghernot Rohr's job and everything he's done so far. He handed him a contract extension. And in that contract, he had to qualify for the African Cup of Nations, which he did, and he has to win it. And he also has to qualify for the World Cup. So I think is a mix takes feeling for Ghernot Rohr and Nigerian fans, because then when we look at the whole country, we look at the players we have, we should be doing better. We shouldn't be losing to Central Africa Republic. And you know, the international break, we see teams like Morocco who have qualified for the playoffs of the World Cup. Morocco and Senegal. Nigeria should be qualifying for the round of the playoff positions for the World Cup, but it's not so. Why? So you keep your comments on all down under your screen or at JEGIQ TV and tell us why you think Ghernot Rohr is the right man. Do you think we need a more experienced coach? Do you think actually he's a very, very experienced coach, Ghernot Rohr? His stats, his record with Nigeria, he's had 62 games with us, and he has a win rate of 58%, more than he had for any other African team his manager or his coach. So do we need maybe a Nigerian feel to it? Moving straight down into Europe from the Nigerian scene, where we saw a certain Cristiano Ronaldo score a hat-trick against Luxembourg and a 5-0 thrashing in Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo, the Manchester United winger, he's been phenomenal this season, hasn't he? And he had a very, very great game against Luxembourg with a hat-trick. And let's not forget Germany as well, who had a resounding victory as well against Macedonia. Timo Werner, I mean, there's been a whole lot of talk about him and if he's the man to lead Chelsea this season, because most Chelsea fans were like, Romelu Lukaku, can he do the business for us? But it's been a bit stop-start. But Timo Werner had a very, very, very nice international break. And England couldn't win Hungary at the Wembley Stadium. They drew 1-1. And there's a whole lot of talk about Harry Kane. What's happening with Harry Kane? I mean, he's had no Premier League goals and we are in October. He didn't score in the last international friendlies and in the international qualification process. He had a very abysmal game against Hungary and they drew 1-1. What's happening with England? But they are primed to qualify for the World Cup in Qatar. And don't forget, the World Cup is not going to be the normal June, July. It's going to be December. So welcome back, and obviously we were talking about the Ballon d'Or before we left. Ballon d'Or top 30. Did your player make it? Did your club player make it? Obviously, Chelsea fans not happy with that one because a certain Edouard Mendy, who was the Champions League best goalkeeper, was not in the reckoning. And then Kalidou Koulibaly, the Napoli defender, came out to say, he said, because we're blacks and then we have to do more than our counterparts. Because then he deserves to be there over a certain Ter Stegen, over a certain Neuer. These are players who didn't have the kind of season Edouard Mendy had. I'm going to bring in Chelsea fans again. Jorginho, there's whole talk about Jorginho winning the Ballon d'Or. Do you think Jorginho deserves to win the Ballon d'Or? You put it right there on our comments on there and give us reasons why you think Jorginho should win the Ballon d'Or. He had a very, very great season. Would the Ballon d'Or lose its credibility if a player like Jorginho wins such a prestigious award? And let's not forget Lewandowski, phenomenal player, has scored most goals than any player in Europe top 5 leagues. Does he deserve to win the Ballon d'Or? You put it down in your comments and then we'll come back to it. Now back to the Premier League, which is back this weekend. Phenomenal. Watford up against Liverpool. And the big news in this game is Claudio Ranieri. I don't know if most of you know Claudio Ranieri, but he's the former Leicester City gaffer. He's back in the Premier League since he left Fulham 2 years ago. He's been in and around the place. He's been in Nantes in France, and then he's gone back to his home country in Italy with Roma and also with Sampdoria, his last job. He's back with Watford, and they're up against Liverpool in the early kickoff, lunchtime kickoff as they call it in the UK. Jurgen Klopp hasn't lost a game in his last 12 Premier League games. They've been on a run since last season where they were qualifying for the Champions League. They've been absolutely fantastic. They're up against a Watford side on the early kickoff on Saturday. And let's not forget, Manchester United is up against Leicester City tomorrow. On Saturday, they're up against Leicester City. They've been very, very, very abysmal for the past 5 games. 5 games, 4 games. They've not been able to hit stride. And then there's whole talk about, does Ole need to leave? Does Ole need to stay? Because then the squad is stacked. If you buy Cristiano Ronaldo, you buy Rafa Varane, you buy Jadon Sancho, you deserve to be competent for top honours. You don't deserve to be losing games here and there. They're up against Leicester, a very, very strong side who've had, the other FA Cup winners anyways, but they've had a slow start to the season. But you always have to be wary of Jamie Vardy, haven't you? Because he has a phenomenal record against the Big Six in England. And he'll be up against Manchester United by 3 p.m. on Saturday. And let's not forget Manchester City up against Burnley tomorrow. Manchester City, a very, very good side, but they've had a stop-start season per se, because then they lost against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. And let's not forget, they've had a wobbly game against Liverpool where they drew 2-2. They obviously want to beat Burnley. You expect them to win that one. But in the English Premier League, no game is guaranteed. Brentford, the new boys in the Premier League, they've been doing so well. The last one, West Ham 2-1. They're up against Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel sides who have had a brilliant start to the season. But when you lose against Manchester City, you lose against Juventus, questions are going to start creeping up. I'm going to start asking questions about Thomas Tuchel, about the squad, about Romelu Lukaku, so many more in the Premier League. And don't also forget that the Ballon d'Or top 30, who do you think deserves to win it? I want to see all your comments. What do you think of Ghernot Rohr? Is he the right man for Nigeria? I want to see all your comments. Talk about it. What do you think? Keep it locked with us on JEGIQ TV. On this short break, when we'll be back, we'll continue more on our sporting events. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to the show, Sports Factor on JEGIQ TV. And don't forget all our social media handles at JEGIQ TV. Drop your comments and reactions. What do you think of the Super Eagles under Ghernot Rohr? Is he the right guy? And also, the Ballon d'Or top 30. Who do you think deserves to win the Ballon d'Or? A very, very, very great achievement for any player who wins that one. And we have exciting news on that, on the Ballon d'Or competition as well. Predict who you think would win the Ballon d'Or in December. when the occasion comes around. Exciting prizes to be won. Without wasting much of your time, because obviously we're running out of time when we talk football, there is no time. NBA action, which is going to be back this Tuesday. Wow, NBA. They're going through their preseason right now, but then it comes back all to life on Tuesday. And let's not forget the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's a Nigerian actually, but he's of Greek descent, and he's like being the NBA star of the last summer. They're up. He plays for the Bucks, and they're up against the Brooklyn Nets. And let's not forget LA Lakers, who will be playing Golden State Warriors all on Tuesday night. NBA, phenomenal sports. They always make sure that the bumper games start the season on NBA. Who do you think would win the Ballon d'Or? I mean, if you want to win something, then you don't have to be biased, because then if you're a Chelsea fan right now, you wouldn't say, okay, I want to give it to JEGIQ. You will look for who you think would win, so you can win our exciting prizes. On this note, we'll be wrapping up the show on JEGIQ TV on Sports Factor, where we talked everything about football. And don't forget to drop your comments and your interactions about the Nigerian Football Federation, Ghernot Rohr, and don't forget the Ballon d'Or nomination as well. And also, our thoughts go out to David Brooks of Bournemouth, who suffered stage 2 cancer, and we wish him all the best, and we wish him sooner than later on the pitch. So on this note, I'm going to be saying a goodbye to you. It was nice hanging out with you guys. It was nice having this one with you guys. And don't forget, I remain Obiaja Kachukubule, Sports Factor for JEGIQ TV. Don't forget all our social media handles at JEGIQ TV. Drop your interactions, drop your comments, drop your likes, and everything. Have a nice weekend.